Welcome home, Raiders. Tonight, it's 5 weeks until BFA, Bazaroth, Battle for Azeroth, whatever. We also have things that go boom, and might we have a pre-patch? All that and more as Convert to Raid presents the Battlenet News. Everybody, and welcome from the Battlenet News broadcast bunker in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Today is, what is today? It's July 10th, 2018, and it is now 9:09 in the p.m. Central Time. Thanks so much for joining us from around the Blizzard universe. My name is Pat Krane. I'm the host of this ding-dang show. And joining me, we have players. We have one returning and one new. Look out. So let's go to the one returning from Lagging Balls and Battlenet Sports. It's Thyst. Hello, Thyst.
Returning? I never left. Not kidding. I've just been here.
Stop. And also our new player from Lords of the Storm, the podcast about Heroes of the Storm, and much more. It's Multizord.
How's it going, everybody? You know, by the end of this episode, Thyst is going to be apologizing for having me on, but that's okay, Pat, because she's Canadian, and that's what they do.
Right.
It's in their nature.
Yeah, well, we know this.
They're just built for it.
We know this. It's fine.
I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's all good.
She already apologized. There you go.
Right.
Prophecy fulfilled.
And so, welcome, by the way, to the show. For Multi, welcome. Welcome, Twitch chat. Welcome, everybody from around the world of Warcraft and beyond. We have quite the show for you tonight. I think we have some information that you will want to hear for sure. Some of the news dropped today. Some of it's been around for a little bit. Some of it is rumors and speculation. And we've also got some more podcast Timewalking for this particular show as well. So all that stuff. But first, let's chat with the folks here. Now, Multi, I want to talk to you first because you haven't been here before. I want to get to know you.
Ooh, okay.
What
details can I share?
What do you play on a regular basis?
So honestly, it's all Blizzard games for me. I pretty much don't deviate from that. But of those, I do a show about Heroes of the Storm with Gizmo, as you call him.
Yeah.
That's it. Yes. And so do that one. I also play a lot of Hearthstone. And of course, that one you can just kind of squeeze in whenever you get the chance, like on the toilet.
Right.
Or, while feeding my 8-month-old son. That works just great. It's like the best game for parenting in existence. I don't know if you can hear him in the background there.
Yeah, I heard him a little bit.
There he is. Yes.
Nice.
Making his podcasting debut.
Look at that.
No, but anyway, yeah.
Already a star.
He played his first video game the other day, World of Warcraft. He was sitting on my lap and hit the space bar and caused me to jump.
Nice.
So that counts.
Nice. How about a big round of applause for the kiddo? Oh, it's not that big.
Yay, Baby Zord.
There we go. Baby Zord.
Yeah.
And fatherhood is treating you well with all of the gaming and all the things that you want to do on a regular basis on top of that?
You don't... Yeah, right. Like eat and sleep?
Yeah.
No, yeah. You don't get to game as much as you once did, but you can find ways to squeeze it in, usually at the cost of sleep, but, whatever. That's just... It's fine.
Right.
We're doing fine.
Right.
But anyway, no. So, okay. Those are kind of my main games, but I'll be honest with you. If I could be left to my own devices, no kid, no job, back in basically how I was in college, right? Yeah. I would be on Warcraft as much as I was in college right now because I don't know what it is, but, and I think I've been seeing it with my friends coming on as well. Pretty much everyone I know that was thinking about resubbing for BFA, as I prefer to call it, is back because there's just this hype going on. There's this weird electric feeling in the air where and I think it's because all this stuff's going to be coming out in the next few weeks maybe, but or maybe it's the Mage Tower that's getting everyone back because they know something cool is going away.
Right.
But either way, the hype's here, and I would be on it all the time if I could.
So now,
hype?
I heard that you have a beef with some of the shorthand for the next expansion. Mm-hmm. And now you called it BFA, and you said before, as we were talking before the show, that you had an issue with Bazaroth.
Yeah, so I know Gizmo's a fan of it, so I got to throw some shade his way.
All right.
It's actually I'm usually a big fan of word fusions, and it is a good word fusion. I mean, it holds the same,
sure.
Consonant goes into the first vowel, which is the same, and then it finishes out with the rest of the word. It's all good, except that, I don't know, to me, when you say it, it kind of sounds like you're throwing up a little bit, like you're going,
Bazaroth. Yeah,
right. So that's a bit much. Now, some of the other ones, I know Thyst, every now and then you say BFA. That actually sounds like the Taco Bell grade G meat that made me throw up in the first place.
Ew.
So I'm not on board with that one. And
what do you think of BFA?
BFA. Now, you did say it right before the show.
As in what BFA?
That I do kind of like that, but let me. The whole reason I came on the show, Pap, is to sell you on just BFA, and so here's how I think of it. Okay, here's the plan. All right, so if you use an acronym with someone who doesn't have any clue what that acronym could possibly be, they kind of have to guess, right? So if I were a person that had no context behind it. I didn't know, for instance, that you were a World of Warcraft podcaster and that you might be talking about gaming, anything like that. Totally some random on the street. If I was in that situation and I heard the letters BFA, I would personally assume that it stands for, the first letter is bad. The second letter is a curse word that starts with F.
Sure.
And the third letter is a curse word that starts with A. So, you could be talking to someone at work, right? And then they could be talking to you about, so what do you have going on this evening? And you could say, I'm going to run by the gym. I'm going to go, I'm going to make some dinner, and then I'm going to do some BFA stuff, and then I'm going to go to bed. And they're going to think that you meant, I'm going to do some bad friggin' A stuff before I go to bed.
Yeah.
And that's a selling point for me.
I don't know any curse words. I don't know any curse words that start with F or A.
Freaking asparagus.
Oh, freaking asparagus. That I understand. Yeah. That's stinky.
Bad freaking asparagus.
Anyway, that's my plan. I don't know.
That's a good point, actually.
All right.
Because then everybody will think that you're a lot cooler than you probably are. At least for me. It's like, I'm just gonna go home and do bad friggin' asparagus stuff. What's up?
Wow. That
does sound fun.
That does sound bad. That sounds really bad.
So bad.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it all plays out. I think I just kind of want it to be kind of one word. For Mists of Pandaria, we had Mop or Mists, I guess.
Right.
Then we had Wad.
Wad.
Although
Wad was kind of weird though for me.
I know a lot of people were conflicted about using that on a regular basis because they wanted to use warlords or whatever. So
it's got to be WAD.
Yeah, it's WAD.
And as acronyms go, none of them can be worse than Watlika. Did anyone actually ever pronounce it?
Yeah.
Watlik.
Right. That's why people just called it Wrath.
Yeah, because I always try to pronounce that in my head.
But I've seen enough people type it out at least as Watlika, and it's doesn't jive with me.
Yep.
That's like the Lord of the Rings acronym.
Lauder.
Yeah.
Lauder.
That doesn't work either.
Yeah. No, not really.
No.
Not really. So we'll have to continue this and see how it all develops with the community, I guess. We're going to have to, and people, please weigh in on Reddit because Reddit doesn't have enough people weighing in about this particular subject, I'm sure. So
it is kind of weird that there's not a consensus yet, though. I mean, this thing is weeks away. And
Hammond dropped one day, and then the next day, Reddit's like, okay, it's official. We're calling him Hammond, not Wrecking Ball. Right. Everybody get behind this. And
no. It's not Hammond. It's not Wrecking Ball. It's Hammy.
Oh,
it's Hammy. It's Hammy the hamster. He's so fun. And we'll talk about him in a little bit because we missed last week because of the July 4th holiday and Canada Day. Let's just say it's Canada Day as well.
Somebody had to go into the woods to avoid me for a few days.
I had to go into the woods to avoid Guy Fieri.
That's where you find Guy Fieri.
Oh, sorry. But yes. So that was a thing, and it was really a lot of fun. I had a good time. I'm so glad I went. But at the same time, I missed everybody. So
good.
And we didn't get to talk about Hammy. So Hammy the hamster,
right?
And, whoever that is,
which is pretty awesome. Pretty cool dude, as far as I can tell. So Thyst.
Hi.
How about you? You've been streaming more.
Oh, yeah.
What were you doing today?
Today I did Dragon Soul because I was trying to get a transmog drop, which I got.
Nice.
Which that doesn't happen, but I did, and that was great. And then I did ICC for Invincible, obviously. But that didn't drop. So maybe I should have done that one first.
Does it ever drop?
No, not as far as I know. No.
And if it did drop, could you see it?
Probably not.
Because it's Invincible.
God, that never gets not funny. It's just always hilarious. Since what look? But yeah, no, I've just been streaming a lot, and just streaming some Overwatch as well, and just doing a lot of PvP. Oh, I got Prestige 9. Nice.
Hey, congratulations! I will give you a big applause as well.
Oh my God, thank you.
Welcome.
It was a lot of hard work.
That is precisely 8 more than I have. Actually, 9 more than I have. Sorry.
Oh.
It's exactly 9 more. Because I'm at Prestige 0.
Maybe
about right for me too.
BFA will entice you with all of their new fancy PvP features to start prestiging.
It could, and we'll talk about that as we head into the World of Warcraft section very, very soon. Is there anything else as far as like stuff that was going on this week? I think that's probably about it, right? I mean, we've got more to talk about, obviously, with the games and stuff like that. But okay, show's over, everybody. No,
no,
that's not done. That's not it. Okay. So why don't we just go right into the news? And of course, we'll start off with World of Warcraft.
A clever strategy.
Thank you, Goel.
You can't call him that.
Well, I mean, he's retired, right?
Okay, fine.
Right.
He's or at least semi-retired. I mean, he's still awesome and everything. He's still, I don't know. He's still Thrall, but he's Goel. Anyway, so there's been some word on the streets, fellas.
What street?
On the streets of paved with blizzard.
Mean streets of Gadgetzan?
Yeah, maybe.
Ooh.
Oh, we're not in the Hearthstone section yet. Oh, dang it.
No.
I need to go back to the notes here.
Gadgetzan is a part of World of Warcraft. It's fine.
That's true.
It doesn't really have streets, though. It's more like a circle, like a hut.
It's like it's got pathways, essentially.
Like Mos Eisley kind of. Yeah.
So anyway, I was talking to a goblin, and he said, hey, psst, buddy, come over here for a second. And,
okay.
And he said something along the lines of, "Hey, I know something that maybe you want to know, and I'm not 100% sure on this thing if it's actually going to come through or not. But this is the word on the streets of Gadgetzan." And it was that. I think if you're doing mage towers and stuff like that, you might not have that much time.
Oh no!
It doesn't sound like you're gonna have that much time. It sounds like the word on the streets, as the goblin said, it's we're looking at about a week.
Right.
Yeah.
Like exactly a week, because today's the 10th, and it's rumored by goblins, and I think gnomes, the 17th is looking like a very, very possible thing. Is that what you guys have you guys heard this as well?
Well, don't tell them too much more because you're going to actually spoil the Before the Storm novel by Christy Golden. So
yeah, that's exactly what happens.
Don't want to go too crazy in that one. But that checks out. I kind of wish, like, I know they're usually a little secretive as to when they're coming out with these patches and everything. But 8.0 is such a big deal. And with the Mage Tower being cut off at that point, as well as some other things, I know there's some other rewards like some mount what was it called again? The Spellwing something?
Yes,
something?
the Violet Spellwing.
Yeah, Violet Spellwing. So, I mean, when stuff's going away like that, I think they've done a good job with keeping us up to date on what is going away and giving us tips, actually, this time to, like, figure out how to knock it out. But without the exact date and stuff, there really are going to be some people that sign in a week and a day from today and just be like, wait a minute, I still don't have my werebear, you know?
Right.
It's going to be...
Well, but they have had that posting out for at least 3 weeks now, right?
Yeah.
And
true.
so it'll be
time.
It would have been up for a month if next week it actually does happen, and it still could change, but that's the word on the street.
I think it'll happen next week.
On
And
the
it
main
does seem
streets
like
of Gadgetzan. Sorry, go ahead.
okay. And it does seem like the WoW community, at least on a lot of social media, is obviously, really going for the Mage Tower right now, because you see it, and it's such a I don't know, like, some posts are so jubilant because it's like, oh, I've been trying to get my artifact appearance from the Mage Tower for like 3 weeks, and I finally got it, but I punched a hole through the wall. And then some people are just like, you know what? I've been trying to do this for like a month and I can't do it, and I'm not gonna. And I punched a hole in my wall. So
everyone just punches holes in the walls.
Yeah.
Lots of hole punching. Got it.
Yes.
Yep.
So what are some of the other things that we need to finish up on? So going away with 8.0 will be the Mage Tower. That's the big thing. So if you're looking for artifact appearances or whatever, get it done now. Assuming you're listening to this before the 17th.
Right.
Do it now.
Right.
Do it now.
Do it
and
now.
I've heard it's a little easier now. I haven't had the chance to. I got the cat form for Druid before the change and everything. But go ahead and finish up the Silithus stuff if you haven't already. Get that artifact weapon. I don't know if I want to spoil stuff about the story there, but it helps you. Sure. It helps your artifact weapon out quite a bit, boosts it up. And I know I've listened to this past week's The Starting Zone podcast.
Yep. And
the gents on there were talking about how, the empowered weapon really does help some. So, like, if you're right at one of those eye level caps, you're at like 910, 920, and you've tried it a bunch of times and not had any success, the boosted weapon might actually help you get over the crest there. So, and don't forget your consumables. There's a lot of stuff you can get for that. So,
yes.
Right.
It's totally doable.
Yeah,
yes.
and like watch some YouTube videos of people doing it. Like, seeing the way that the mechanics work before you actually do it can teach you a lot before you go in and like waste your Azurite? No, that's not till next. But it
nether shards.
I'm just like, yes, nether shards. Thank you. I'm getting way ahead of myself. But you see it, and so like you kind of know what to expect. And it's like with any raid encounter too. It's like it's way easier to do if you watch someone else do it first. And then there's a lot, like maybe you're not doing a certain thing that could make it a lot easier for you. And if you see somebody else doing it, it's way easier to do it. So
Yep. And plus there are lots of guides out there right now. I know that I know Icy Veins has them. I know that Wowhead has them, and they will list out everything. They'll list out the best in slot legendaries for certain phases of the encounter as well. So you can go through and see if you have all those different legendaries or whatever, or you can just say, Leroy Jenkins the whole thing and just hope it's going to work out fine. That's
sometimes
cool too.
That helps.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But you can do now because the Mage Tower is just up.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not waiting for the however many day window that it used to be.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can just try until the 8.0 comes out.
Exactly.
I mean, it's been up for a while. Do you think there's something wrong, or do you think they should call a toll-free number or something about that?
Yes.
Think so.
It has been more than
time to go to the emergency department.
Right. It's been a little too long. Okay. The other thing that is going to be going away. So we talked about Spellwing as well. That's going to be going away. So get your AOTCs right.
Yes.
Ahead of the curves. For Argus.
Argus the Unmaker.
Yes. What else is going away? Those are the two big things anyway, right? Is anything else going away?
I think there's a smattering of achievements and such. I'm not familiar with all of them, but
and first aid is going away as a secondary profession.
Yeah,
any achievements you get now will be feats of strength.
Right.
So if that's important to you, you should definitely get that done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I am actually looking forward to first aid going away. As I've played a healer mostly for the last 6 years, I don't care.
Right. I don't think anyone's cared too much for a while, so it makes sense to go there.
I haven't cared since I was like, when I was first going through World of Warcraft. Like initially, it was Wrath of era stuff. It was Watlook era stuff, and I thought, because I was still playing all the vanilla content, I thought that stuff was mandatory. Like I had to go do it because it was in my quest log, and so I would do the stuff. And I found out later that was optional, and I went, "What? Oh."
It was still kind of useful then, but I mean, since then, a lot of the classes have gotten so much more self-sustained in each of the specs, and it's just, I don't know. I don't find myself in many situations where I need to stop, bandage up, and pull something else, or I don't even think it's used in PvP as much as it once was. So, I mean,
I just die and then respawn and try again.
There you go.
Right. That's the easier way to do it, isn't it?
That's a full heal, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe we should talk a little bit about BFA. I'll call it that for you, Multi. I'll call it that for you. For BFA, let's talk a little bit about BFA because there was also a new post recently, anyway, talking about PvP in BFA, and of course, we have a song to go along with that.
You're down with PvP. Yeah, you know me. You're down with PvP. Yeah, you know me. You're down with PvP. Yeah, you know me. Who's down with PvP? Yeah.
So we've got an update on all the different talent systems and honor and blah blah blah. And Thyst, I know you like PvP quite a bit.
Hi.
I
mean, yes.
Yes. So let's talk. So how are they changing the talent system for the honor talent system?
Okay,
for BFA.
Right now, the current honor talent system, the talents will become available to you as you earn honor levels by doing PvP.
That's right now. That's what's happening.
Right now, right? So like the more levels you get up, the more like things you can choose from, and that puts some players at a disadvantage because you go into a BG with people who have like way higher levels than you. They're going to have stuff that you don't have, and that's kind of not. I mean, it's fair, but it's also not fair, because like they obviously earned it, but you have yet to earn it. And anyway, so in Legion, PvP talents will be streamlined so that they will become available as you level. So that sort of like keeps things more even. So it's not like honor levels. It's just like actual levels.
Right.
So in Legion, the PvP talents are organized into rows of 3, like class talents. But in BFA, players will be able to select any 3 PvP talents from a large pool of options, along with a special crowd control breaking talent, which is sort of like replacing the old PvP trinket.
Sure.
So you get that at level 20,
mm-hmm.
and it's like a 3 that you can choose from or something. So at level 110, all PvP talent options will be available.
Mm-hmm.
So, a lot of us will just have the on our mains. And the system offers more options for customizing your character to suit your playstyle or your environment, and just whatever you like to do best, like arenas or battlegrounds or the new Duelers Guild.
Oh yes, we'll get to that in just a second. I'm actually kind of glad that they changed this, because as a person that is a super casual PvP player, I felt like I only had that first row of options really available to me as I went through. Like I had 0 options. I was just kind of, okay, I get this now.
Yeah, and it's cool to have something to work forward to and stuff, but there's lots of other rewards besides that, and it does kind of suck that, it's like, well, in order to get more talents, I have to do more PvP, and I would be a lot better at PvP if I had these talents. Yeah. So I'm going to go in being a little less good than everyone else.
And don't forget that when we get into Battle for Azeroth, we'll also have that war mode thing where if you're in Orgrimmar or Stormwind, you can actually toggle war mode on and go about the world and be able to use those talents on just regular mobs in PvE.
Yeah, just any time, which is incredible. I actually, I was kind of on the fence about, like, am I going to turn on war mode as I level? Because you get, a bunch of other things. We're going to get into some of the new details now, but some we've known about for some time. Like, there's some EXP bonuses to kind of make up for the time that you're going to spend running back from graveyards and that kind of thing. Which isn't going to happen to me, obviously. I'm just going to make everyone else run back from the graveyards, obviously.
Exactly.
This, though, kind of sold me on it. Like, if I can find a good set of PvP talents that kind of helps me level, if I combine that with just kind of playing careful and grinding it out as quick as I can, I think it might be the better way to level. As long as you don't get too many tussles.
So now, Multi, are you a PvP player regularly, or?
Haven't been in a while. I used to, actually, back in Watluku. Was kind of the peak of my PvPing there. So, but yeah, and so, like, the one thing that excites me about this the most, actually, is the fact that we're taking these talents and pulling them out of a pool instead of just having the row system where we have to go through a set. Because, like, if I'm kind of remembering what arenas were like back in the Watluka days, and it's been a while, naturally, but I could totally see myself, like, if I got back into PvP, which I'm kind of thinking about, it's honestly one of the things that you can kind of squeeze in around work and kids and that kind of thing, because you just log in, do a couple arenas, log out, right?
Sure.
But my thought is, like, it'll be so fun to learn the system and also learn what comps you're up against. So if you're playing in 3v3, you're going to be in situations where you're like, okay, so it's a warrior, druid healer, and Ellie shaman. All right, what are the 3 best talents for this? And I don't know, it's got that kind of, like, puzzle within the game feature that I think I'm going to dig. So
Sweet.
All right, cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And there are some other things. We got a little bit more information about the bounty hunter system. This is where you go about in the world, and as you collect heads, let's just say that, of the opposing faction, it's kind of like GTA 5 or whatever. Where you're getting the stars.
For just creating mayhem.
Yeah. And so then pretty soon the cops are going to come after you. Well, same kind of deal with bounty hunter system. And it looks like you'll get, there will be up to 3 assassins in a zone during this time, up to 3. And when you're known as the assassin, when you have a bounty out for you, you get actual increase in your damage and healing by 15%. So as people come at you, you're like, oh, now I'm strong, so now I'm gonna come kick your BFA. No, that's not the same.
Except there's probably going to be a lot of people coming after you.
I can't wait. Oh, bring it so hard.
Oh yeah, this is like all I want to do. Thyst, you and me. This is all we're going to do.
Okay. Oh my God, yes.
Heal you and we'll be fine.
Yes. Yes.
One of the things that sold me on war mode, though, was actually a Taliesin and Evitel video talking about how in the beginning, in the very early stages of BFA, and for those guys that don't want to play war mode, that's totally cool. I get it. But Taliesin was saying that in the very early stages of Battle for Azeroth, nobody will be in the zone that you're in. You won't have tons of the opposing faction in those different zones. Unless, of course, they're jerks, of course. But as far as the questing and stuff like that, we're going to be separated for a while until we start reaching max level, right? So,
for the most part, but some people are going to go into BFA like only wanting to do war mode and nothing else.
Sure, but I'm just saying,
will there be enough quests for them to do? I mean, if you cross the sides,
if you cross the sides before you can, I don't know if you really want to do that. Anyway, but at least in the very early stages of BFA, there might not be as big of an issue with going war mode as there would be, say, if you were to start a week later.
That's true.
Then there might be some issues. So I don't know. So I'm kind of sold on checking out war mode and seeing what that all brings, what kind of chaos that is and stuff like that. There's also something that's called airdrops, and I didn't know about this before they wrote about it. Thyst, what's this all about?
So occasionally a flying machine will, fly across the sky.
As they do.
And as they do. And this is only in BFA zones, not in the rest of the world.
Right.
So it's apparently similar to the chest in the Gurubashi arena. So when you see the machine like fly overhead, you like follow it and it'll drop like something, and it's like a crate. And then players can fight over the crate and claim it for their faction. And then once the faction has gained control of the crate, anyone in that faction in the area will be able to collect a piece of personal loot for a short time. So this is basically just like, WoW, like forcing us to fight.
Right.
They're just like, here's a scrap, fight over it.
It's very Hunger Games kind of. Like it even kind of reminds me of the Hunger Games with the crates parachuting in from the sky, which of course reminds me of the Battle Royale games.
Yeah,
I think there's at least some parallels that could be drawn here.
Yeah, exactly. And I was thinking the exact same thing. I'm like going, oh wow, so they're just trying to create a smaller space so that people can fight over it, and there will be loot inside, which will be nice. We don't know exactly how nice it's going to be, but I mean. That's cool. I
don't even care what's in the crate. It's just I need to get that for the horde. Like when I see one of those,
I'm not even going to check the crate.
I don't care.
Screw the crate.
I
just want to kill WoW people.
As far as I'm concerned, every crate that drops is for the horde, and it is going to be my personal responsibility to see to that, Pat.
Wow.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're going to charge straight into that cornocopia.
Wow.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm hoping. It's pretty serious.
That's intense.
Very. Very. All right. So what I'm hoping for these crates, though, is that they have a small chance to drop something cosmetic that's super awesome, like a mount, right? Because that would make people go insane for them.
It would.
Like if you had a 1% chance for this just sweet mount, or any percent, I think people would just go nuts. Like that would be the craziest spot to walk up to.
Sure.
Just everyone charging in at the same time. What would be the strategy? Do you hang back? Do you just go right in? I don't know.
Just go in.
I've got it. I've got it.
Going in.
Just stuff frog mounts in there, like rare frog mounts.
I want a frog mount. Let's do it.
I am so into that. Or the bee mount. Oh, yeah. That one looks pretty cool too.
Literally any mount at all. It doesn't matter. Yeah. People who play WoW just want mounts.
Yeah. Are there going to be alpaca mounts? Please tell me. Yeah.
There should be.
Alpaca
They've got the model in the game now.
Yeah, really cute. Oh my gosh.
So cute. Other than the crates, let's talk about other stuff as far as PvP goes for BFA. There was something that dropped, I think it was last week or
a few days ago.
It was a few days ago. It's the Duelers Guild, and I can see Thyst bouncing in her seat right now. She's so amped to do this. Think Brawlers Guild for PvP. That's kind of my takeaway. And Thyst, you say that's the same thing that you're thinking?
Totally. Yeah. That's exactly what I'm thinking. And I don't know. It just feels like it always kind of should have been in the game, TBH.
Right.
Yeah.
Hasn't it always been in the game, though? I mean, it's so easy to PvP, just in front of Orgrimmar. I see it happen all the time.
Yeah. I mean, that's true.
So, yeah, that's always been there, but there's never been any prestige to it. I mean, you can kind of brag to your friends, but if you do that, kind of weird. I don't know.
It's just I killed so many guys at Orgrimmar last night. Oh my god, it's like, wow.
I won 16 duels.
You were supposed to be in raid with us last night. Oh yeah.
The only problem that I have with this is that it's an event that kind of lassos you to an area, which I guess I'm okay with it. I mean, as long as it goes fairly fast. But if it's super crowded and stuff like that, I mean, some people might just want a queue. They want to. It sounds like they want to. The developers want to make it more social. By having everybody having to stick around instead of just queue in and fight one-on-one and then
with the spectators and such. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait to watch.
I just don't know if that did that ever happen with Brawlers Guild?
Not for me personally. I don't know. I mean, I think some more people got into it more than I did, but
sure. I mean, like Josh Allen, aka Lore, he actually streamed events with Brawlers Guild. And he made it into a big stream thing, so it became kind of more fun, social, kind of a happening. But I didn't see that outside of that. I really didn't see much of that.
I watched a lot of that. I'd just go in and watch people. It was fun.
Right.
I don't know. I think it's going to be a cool place to hang out. I don't know. it would be really cool if just like people on your server became like kind of legendary for like being really good duelists, and then like maybe like some of the top duelists on your realm like started like getting into it and stuff, and like people would come watch. Like it's like IRL, not IRL esports.
It kind of reminds me of in Watluck. We're going back to Watluck a lot.
We are.
So
it's just that kind of episode,
I guess.
Potluck?
Gotta get back in time.
Who said that?
So I remember what was the battleground for Wrath? What was that called?
Wintergrasp.
Yeah, Wintergrasp. So in Wintergrasp, I remember that being a big, huge thing because that was before, all of the InstaQ stuff and LFD and blah, blah, blah. And so we got to know the people on our server really, really well, and who are the really great PvPers on the opposing faction. And I remember this dude, this warlock named Purple, and he would just he would kill everybody. Alliance Scum. Oh wait,
he's a famous Hearthstone player now, isn't he?
I play Alliance.
Yeah, I was about to say, is that the Hearthstone?
No, I don't think it's the Hearthstone guy, but it might have been.
It probably is.
Probably not.
Odds are.
But he would just kill everybody, and so I got to really know those people, and maybe we'll see some of that come back as well.
I hope so.
I hope so too.
Which would be great,
because I've been missing that. That was a big deal on especially some of the smaller servers in the vanilla days. Like we Zords had only about 14 people on at any given time, but people started to recognize the last four letters of that name, right? So, but that just doesn't happen anymore with all the sharding and the sharing between servers and such. So yeah, something like this pushing us in that direction is going to be fun. Yeah. I'm with Thyst. I hope we get little server stars that are just
server
we should
stars.
all aspire to be that. I want to be the very best,
Right.
Like that.
Right. So get this, with all those different changes and stuff like that, one of the other big changes for BFA is going to be the honor level changes that are coming. Because we are not using honor levels to determine what talents are available to us, right? Those are just your level, your actual level. Thyst, again, how are honor levels changing? How are they working for Battle for Azeroth?
So in BFA, honor and the rewards earned through participation are now going to be like all account wide.
Sure.
So like all honor earned by like one character in Legion will be like, sort of like into single account wide total honor level in BFA. And apparently like those who have already earned any of these rewards in Legion, they'll retain them regardless of whether you meet any new honor requirements or whatever. So that's good to know as somebody who's been grinding out honor a lot.
Right.
But yeah.
It's going to pay off.
It's
Cool.
better.
Cool.
But so I don't know, like it's strange. Like I know that they're redoing the honor system. I know that they're refining and sort of like clarifying how participation and skill are going to be rewarded. And it's not just honor anymore. There's like a complete like PvP progression reward system overhaul with like different brackets now. So there's like combatant, challenger, rival, duelist, and gladiator. And that's like, but yeah, so I think they're bringing back conquest points as a measure of rated PvP, and they're offering a specific piece of like raid quality gear each week, adding up to full sets of increasing quality over the course of a season. So I think like to make a long story short, they're just sort of like streamlining everything and making it easier for you to see like what you're doing and how it's going to benefit you and like what rewards are coming.
Right.
And you can sort of like choose in which way that direction goes depending on what you want.
Yep. And for those guys that really want to play like all the things and get all of the loot ever, you go and you PvP for your weekly chest. You go and you do Mythic Plus runs for your weekly chest. You go and you do raids for obviously loot. And so, I mean, you can do all those different progression things and get all of these different items. And especially when it comes to PvP and Mythic Plus dungeons, I mean, you find that you're being funneled towards this one goal of getting your weekly piece of gear, which is pretty cool and pretty enticing for some of those players that haven't had that before. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah, and on the flip side of that too, I mean, you can mix and match all those things and rake in all the chests that you want every week. But I feel like, and this is maybe just an impression I'm getting from the stuff I'm reading so far, but it seems like in BFA, you really could just take one of those tracks and master it. Like, I feel like it's been a while since the PvP players have truly felt they could only PvP and be competitive in PvP. But this system seems like it would kind of enable that, especially if, I mean, all you would need to do is fill up the conquest bar, but I don't see any details in here. I presume that if you do well, like if you get into those higher brackets like you were talking about, I assume the rewards would scale some as well.
I think so.
And so there's incentive to do that too. So I mean,
it's not just PvP. It's those guys that just want to run dungeons.
Yeah, just mythics,
the dungeoneers, as I like to call them,
or just raiding. Also another viable option.
Right, exactly. Well, raiding has always been kind of the viable option, the only viable option until this last expansion, and now it's continuing on. So it's kind of cool to see that kind of play out. So I don't know.
I'm just
go ahead.
I'm so stoked on this. Like it's just overwhelmingly obvious that BFA is going to be an amazing expansion for people who are already really into PvP. And I think that despite the fact that you can like completely turn off world PvP and not even think about it if you don't want to, there's so many things that are going to entice people to start PvPing. And I think that's wonderful, especially like with the whole like Horde versus Alliance emphasis in this expansion. Like it's just going to make this like so much more immersive, and like it's going to make people so proud of their factions, and it's going to like, I don't know, there's just something about PvP that just like makes World of Warcraft like, I don't know, not only exciting and, a little bit challenging, but just like the feeling you get when you kill a whole bunch of other players is indescribable. It feels really good.
So is
a little like a serial killer there.
So is the feeling. So is the feeling of being camped. That's also a feeling that is kind of indescribable unless you've been there. So
we've all been there, Pat.
So no matter which side of that equation you're on, it's living dangerously. I think is kind of what it
character.
Is. Instead of just fighting mobs that are your own level and all that kind of stuff, you fight other players and figure out who's better.
Yeah,
which is
ruin their day.
Interesting. Or
well, I'm with you, Thyst. The story kind of sells me on it. Like I want to kill all the Alliance. I don't know what to tell you. I shouldn't say that on an Alliance-centric show like this.
Well, we're Alliance friendly, that's for sure. The guild is Alliance. We had to pick a side. Come on. But I know a lot of the guildies also play Horde, so
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's important.
Yeah, we like to view the story from both sides of the thing. So it's all
there is a lot of that this expansion too. Like this might be one of the first ones that I roll an ally just to see the story because there's so much going on over there. Right. I know. I see the look on your face, Thyst. I promise I'm only going to do it under the influence of something.
Fine, good. We could still be friends, I guess.
Oh, boy. All right. Well, anything else as far as the PvP stuff goes or anything else Battle for Azeroth that you guys wanted to bring up?
I'm really excited for it.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
All right. Well, in that case, we are going to do a little bit more podcast time walking. We've done this the last couple of weeks. Last week was we did it a few times, or last time we did it a few times, because it was the 7-year kind of anniversary-ish show.
Is that the official title?
Yeah. So, but now we'll do another podcast time walking. So I got to hit the thing.
Gotta get back in time.
That's the one.
Keep saying that.
Now this one. We have another song for you, and this one comes all the way back from Cataclysm. I remember it so well. I was on my alt warrior, and she was amazing looking, and I went in and I was like, yes, I'm gonna tank. This is what I'm gonna do with my warrior. So here's the song that I came up with for that. Here we go.
Zug Zug in the house for Convert to Raid. Dropping the mic, now I'm dropping a bomb. Gonna go tanky with my warrior son. She's lean and she's mean and she's finally geared. She's a belt, not a lady, so the moms will get smeared. So I go to LFD, better to Puggy C, so that if I fuck up, no one will know it's me. I climb into insta-queues and then I say peekaboo. Check out the shield and my one-headed soldier fool. I'm bad, who's bad? I'm bad, yo. I'm bad, who's bad? I'm bad, yo. I'm bad, who's bad? I'm bad, yo. At least when I queue up, I don't look all that lame. I'm bad, who's bad? I'm bad, yo. I'm bad, who's bad? I'm bad, yo. I'm bad, who's bad? I'm bad, yo. And every time I die, I got someone to blame. Get to the boss and seem to pull okay, but then the guy turns around to smack my Frost DK. I taunt him back just at the last moment, but my CDs are blown and my newness is showing. The healer's out of mana trying to keep me alive. The DPS is dropping while I try to survive. My interrupts on cooldown, so I improvise, but my solution's resolution is that everyone dies. I'm bad. Who's bad? I'm bad, yo. Yo, I'm bad. Who's bad? I'm bad. Yo, I'm bad. Who's bad? I'm bad, yo. At least when I queue up, I don't look all that lame. I'm bad. Who's bad? I'm bad, yo. But I'm bad. Who's bad? I'm bad, yo. I'm bad. Who's bad? I'm bad, yo. And every time I die, I got someone else to blame. The punk is not impressed by my failed heroics. They all know this alt has blown it. Bring on the vote. The reason is noob. Then I find myself back in Orgrimmar. Dude! That hurts. You know, you kick somebody just for failing once, and whose fault is that? Maybe it's yours. Maybe you should check yourself before you wreck yourself. I heard that once, and maybe it's true. I'm bad. Who's bad? I'm bad, yo. I'm bad. Who's bad? I'm bad, yo. I'm bad. Who's bad? I'm bad, yo. Every time I die, I got someone else to blame. I'm bad. Who's bad? I'm bad, yo. I'm bad. I'm bad, yo. I'm really bad. Who's bad? I'm bad, and at least when I queue up, I don't look all that lame. But I'm bad. Who's bad? I'm bad, yo. I'm bad. Who's bad? I'm bad, yo. I'm really bad. Who's bad? I'm bad, yo. I'm really, really bad. I'm bad. Who's bad? I'm bad, yo. I'm bad. Who's bad?
That's me. I'm bad.
I'm bad. Who's bad? I'm bad, yo.
I'm really, really, really bad. Those were the days. Those were the days. Good stuff.
See, that song was BFA, and I'm using my other acronym.
Oh,
Battle for Azeroth.
Something about asparagus.
Yes.
Look out.
Asparagus.
Asparagus. How's that? Let's move the show along and maybe talk about something that actually popped up today with, that's kind of one of the things that I love about doing a show on Tuesdays. And kind of one of the things that I don't really like about it at the same time, because it means that we don't have time to really look at stuff.
It's a double-edged sword, Pat.
It really is. It really is.
So you get the cutting news, so it's good.
Exactly. And so we'll go to some breaking news, and let's talk about Hearthstone.
Well met.
Right. So Hearthstone news, everybody. We actually have a new expansion, and it was really, really fun, the way that they did it. The way that the developers kind of unleashed this beast was they did this whole video thing. Multi, I know you like Hearthstone.
I do. I tend to, yes.
I tend to. From time to time, yes. So can you describe what the video was, and then we'll get into what the actual expansion is? How's that
The first thing, Dave Kosak is kind of leading this video.
Yep.
And he is the new face of Hearthstone. If anyone from Blizzard's listening to this, just go ahead and give him the game director position that Ben Brode used to have, because he's going to carry us. He's going to carry us. I'm just saying it right now.
Right.
Because this video was incredible. And I mean, it was awkward pretty much throughout the whole thing, but in a charming way. And of the charming, awkward characters in it,
yes,
Dave Kosak, number one, for sure. So basically, the Hearthstone new expansion is going to be called the Boomsday Project. And so the whole trailer is this, it's this wacky, zany, science-themed nether storm. Yes,
science with a thumbs up.
With a thumbs up.
For science.
And all caps science as well. Just so you guys know, popping up on the screen at you. If you guys haven't seen this yet, just go ahead and see it, obviously.
Right.
But yeah, so they go through a bunch of the new mechanics that are coming out, which we'll get to here in a second, of course. But in a way that was a little different. Honestly, this one kind of reminded me of the Witchwood trailer some too, in that they had the cards physically there where they were shooting this thing, but then they also animated them to do some other zany things as well too.
Zany.
So, zany, completely zany. And what was that?
Science.
Zany science.
Thumbs up.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Thumbs up. So it's it's all about Dr. Boom somehow. We don't know all the story behind the expansion yet too much, other than just what they had in this trailer and a few other blurbs that they've written about it. But yeah, I mean, we kind of knew that it was going to be a Netherstorm this time, because we had an image that came out kind of at the beginning of the Hearthstone year, where they teased, there was a little bit of you could see the 3 different expansions, and there was kind of an image underneath each one.
Oh, yeah.
And this one, yeah, you remember this. So this one did have, I mean, it was kind of easy to guess because it was all purpley, and it had what looked like one of those beams that connects the different biodomes, I guess, in Netherstorm. So, I mean, that was a pretty fair guess. But the fact that it's all this kind of like Manhattan Project / Beekman's World or
Beekman's World
Bill Nye theme is totally out of the blue. And so, yeah, it's pretty exciting. I like that Dr. Boom himself's coming back. Yep. He actually he was voted as the most powerful card in the history of the game by that bracket that Ixar put up there. So
yeah, and it is pretty cool that Dr. Boom is coming back in some form. And then the new mechanic that's going to be around for the Boomsday Project is a thing called Magnetic. And just so you guys know, the way that Magnetic works is essentially they'll have little mechs. Little cards, you know, the one that they showed was a 2/2 cost with 3 mana. And basically you can play that, and you can play it separately, or you can attach it to a mech that you already have, and they combine their powers. And then boom, more power for that one mech. So
gives them the buff, as well as passes on any of its traits to the other mech that you're magnetizing it to. So and the crazy thing, it does. So that Spider Bomb card that you're talking about, is actually, it seems pretty good just by itself, because the Death Rattle is destroy a random enemy minion, and so I mean you could plop that down, maybe kill it yourself with something, and take out a huge single target on the enemy side. I mean it's not bad by itself, but then to use it as a buff too, and the fact that you have the ability to kind of choose between those is pretty cool. I mean, this is the first one of these that we're going to see, and I'm sure that the rest of them are going to be even more science to explore for us here. Because they always at the beginning of these things show a few cards that are interesting, but they're never the best ones in the meta. And then as time goes on, actually right before they really announce it in that last card dump, that's sometimes when you see the craziest stuff coming out. So, but there's still some good stuff so far.
Yeah. And I'm still enjoying this last expansion too. Witchwood has been pretty good, so I've been kind of digging that one as well. And I just went through today because I don't pay for Hearthstone. I'm gonna pay for Hearthstone anymore. I'm just gonna play, get the things that I need to buy more decks, and then buy more packs, and that's gonna be it. So the other day I went and I'm like, finally, I'm going to have all the Witchwood cards. So I got 30 packs, and I opened them up, and I think there was like one legendary. I'm like, thanks, Blizz. You know,
at least you tried.
Right.
You did.
And so I was like, all right, cool. Got those. And then, boom, this thing comes out, and I'm like, man. Because right now they have the pre-purchases going on right now. Boom. And also,
boom.
Boomsday Project comes out August 7th. Boom. Boom again. So,
boom.
So many booms.
Yeah, so many booms.
Do you know what my favorite part of the whole video was?
What?
Spoilers. When the intern was just like standing behind the other guy, and he just pops out.
Well,
was his name like Eli or something? He's like, I'm 38.
It was Levi, and then but he was calling him all sorts of different names. Dave Kosak.
Yeah.
Dave Kosak, such
he was the intern. Yeah, check it out.
Yeah, the intern.
No one knows his name.
In person, Dave Kosak is that weird as well.
Dave was the first Blizzard employee I ever met in person, and I ran into him like twice. and he was the sweetest. Like, he gave me his card. Like, nobody knew who I was back then. Like, I was just there, and I think Ro introduced me, and I was just like,
Nice.
hi. But he was so nice, and he's so sweet, and I love to see him in these videos because it's obvious that he's having like the best time.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Right. He is. And that goes, when I met him, he was working for World of Warcraft, and so I mean, it was just really great to see him kind of switch over, and now he's kind of more of a lead role in Hearthstone, and that's kind of cool. Kind of he's kind of the Christy Golden of Hearthstone. Actually, he's doing more than that too. So
he did invent the dungeon run.
Right.
So that's pretty impressive.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
he's a story guy, right? He wants a story.
Yeah,
So he of course came up with something that was more complex than just one game. He was like, oh, we got to do something more than just one game. Come on, let's do a whole run, a whole dungeon run. So,
yep.
So yes. Anything else on this expansion? I mean, we don't know a heck of a lot quite yet. We know the new mechanic. We know some of the cards.
There's a few other mechanics. I won't get too much into detail here, but one big one is that there's going to be legendary spells coming out with this one for the first time ever. The one that they showed was a 5-cost, I believe it's a rogue spell, Myra's Unstable Element, which is just draw the rest of your deck, just flat out. And you can only hold 10 cards, so you burn the rest of them.
Right.
But so that's interesting. And then there's a bunch more out as well about actually the pre-order packs that you can get.
Yep.
So there's a lot of controversy going on there now, actually, because there's 2 different packs. Essentially, there's one where you just get your standard. It's $49.99 USD, and then you get your 50 packs, as well as you actually get a golden legendary random with that. So that's pretty cool. Kind of worth it there. But then they have what's called the Mega Bundle, where you get all of that, but it's 80 packs for $80. So, I mean, it's still the same price per pack ratio. But then you also get the Mecha Jaraxxus Warlock hero. And I checked it out today. I mean, I don't know if I can swing that personally, but I at least watched a YouTube video that had some of the voice lines of this guy. And it's good. It is... The you know how you can say oops in the game? The oops emote is just him going, error.
Nice.
I would love to spam that at my opponents.
Nice.
That's amazing.
All I would say. That's all I would say.
And then that's when I would hit squelch and just done.
But you know what? I would keep on doing it.
Right.
I don't know that you squelched me.
Right, so. Exactly. You don't know.
Dream lives on with me.
Don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, but anyway, so the other weird thing is that you can actually buy both of those bundles separately.
Right.
And you actually get the 2 golden legendaries, get the Jaraxxus and everything. So, I mean, I know a lot of people are upset about the paywall behind the Jaraxxus hero. I mean, it's just a cosmetic, but I mean, $80 is kind of prohibitive for some folks.
It's a little steep.
I don't have $80.
No, me either. Mm-mm. So, but anyway,
not for that.
It's no. The fact that you can buy both, like if you have the money to do it, you know, I know like streamers and other Hearthstone podcasters that make a living out of this and that sort of thing. I could see them just buying both bundles and then being pretty well set on the cards in the set and like dust moving forward and all that. So I mean, it's in that sense, it's not a big deal for those who can swing it, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah. Exactly. If you have a lot of money, guess what? You get a lot of stuff.
There you go.
That's the way it goes.
Is that how the world works?
Yeah, it's like life.
Yeah, kind of.
Now we just need to figure out where to get money.
I just plan on buying free packs and we'll see. Yeah. We'll see how bad I get my BFA kicked in the beginning, and then
right. Your asparagus.
Yeah, my asparagus. See how bad I get it kicked, and so which will probably happen quite a bit.
Most likely.
That's my guess. It's all right. It's all right. All right.
55% win rate is not bad, Pat. Just shoot for that.
Shoot for the stars, Pat.
Sure. I'll go for 15% win rate. No. All right. Let's move it along to Heroes of the Storm.
Turned up to 11.
There we go. So apparently there have been some changes in Heroes of the Storm, and Multi, as I recall, you seem to like that game as well.
Seems to be one of the ones I occasionally enjoy as well.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So let's talk about this. We had a couple of reworks. We had an Azmodan rework and a Raynor rework, right?
It's a tongue twister, isn't it?
Yes.
Raynor rework?
Wait till you hear about the skin. Road Raider Raynor. I can't even say it. Road Raider Raynor.
Road Raider.
10 times fast.
Road Raider Raynor. Okay.
Yeah.
Not fair.
So let's talk about Azmodan. What's going on? What's going on with him? What are the big major changes to the playstyle?
So the playstyle is kind of the same, except they're kind of trying to gear him toward more team fighting instead of just being the split lane pusher the whole time. I won't get into any of the numbers or details on that necessarily right now, but generally speaking, it just seems like they're trying to push you in that direction. They've changed around some of the abilities. One of the big ones is, so you used to take this talent that would allow you to get Globe of Annihilation stacks with your Q by essentially like killing off minions right as they're about to die with it, kind of like last hitting, but it didn't have to be exact. They could die within a couple of seconds.
Sure.
So they're making that just baseline. You don't take it as a talent anymore. And you also get the stacks just from hitting heroes. So, I mean, now there's some logic to actually get in there and not just farm minion wave after minion wave, right? Like you're actually wanting to lob them at people now.
Right.
And so that's kind of a big change there. And then the other abilities changed a little bit too, like the Death Laser, his E.
Yep.
Now has just this, it doesn't stay on nonstop. It has this fixed time where I think it's like 2 seconds and then it goes off. But if you finish the channeling, you do bonus damage to whoever you did it on. So, I mean, there's still a little bit of that. But the weird one is, so they changed around the heroics a little bit. And they've got a new one where essentially, so they got rid of Blackpool, which was the steal where he would put a black pool at his feet, hence Blackpool, I guess.
Right.
That's the name.
Right. Yep.
Checks out, right?
Yep.
So they don't have that anymore. Instead, they have what kind of appears, if I'm being a little honest here, to be one of the more boring abilities in the game. Essentially, all it is you just press a button, it's 30-second cooldown, and it makes your next Globe of Annihilation, the Q, do 50% more damage. So that's good. I mean, you want to be doing that.
Right.
It's still probably a good heroic, but it's just kind of like, I don't know, wouldn't that be something that you could expect on your one key? Or
so what you're saying is that it might be a little lackluster.
A little, yeah. I mean, we talked about this on Lords of the Storm. If it was just like a bigger splash or that plus something else, maybe a demon summons as soon as it lands or something, but it's just, it is what it is.
Can this include a demon, please?
Please. He has so many demons.
Yeah, like why
short changes here?
Yeah, just one more is fine. Squeeze one in.
Sure.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Gotcha. So that's Azmodan, kind of a broad overview, right?
Right.
Let's talk about Raynor now. So
yeah.
Road Raider Raynor.
Road Raider Raynor. I almost got it. Okay. Yeah. So he is, it's kind of funny because it's kind of been a meme in the Heroes of the Storm circles forever that he's just needed a rework forever. He had this passive that was just that he could shoot farther than everyone else. But the funny thing was they then released heroes that shoot that far. Like Ana just has that same firing distance. So it was kind of weird. Like it was as if he didn't have a passive, right?
Right.
So change that around. That essentially his passive now, the trait as we call it, is called Give Him Some Pepper, or Give Him Some Peppa.
Peppa.
Where every fourth basic attack splashes in a small area and actually does 125% more damage to the primary target too.
Okay.
So that's kind of interesting. And then like other than that, I mean, it is a full rework. It's a lot in his talents though, and it's more in how his abilities work. So for instance, like penetrating round as his Q is pretty much the same. I mean, there's some number tweaks on it, but Inspire and Adrenaline Rush. So previously, Inspire actually would cause everyone to get the extra attack speed and movement speed. And so now it's actually just giving it to him and then any nearby allied minions and mercenaries, but not fellow teammates.
Not other players.
Yeah,
so
which is kind of weird. But it actually, it is a nerf, but at the same time, one of the weird things that it does now too is that casting it resets your basic attack cooldown. So you could kind of, it's like one of those off swings, like with Frostmourne Hungers or some of these others, where you could time it out. And especially if like you're keeping track of your give them some pepper stacks, maybe you could kind of fit those in at the right points.
I like how you hit that. Give them some pepper.
Give some pepper.
Right.
Yeah, if you can keep track of your pepper, you're set.
Right. Well,
but anyway, and then the other big one, Adrenaline Rush was, of course, just something that would happen if you got low enough, you would get some health back. Now it's an activatable where you just press the button, you get 25% of your maximum health back over 1 second, and then it actually you reduce the cooldown of that by 0.5 seconds for every basic attack that you get off, including doubled against heroes. So
okay, all right.
Yeah, I mean, those are the main things. There's some changes to Raynor's Raiders, but you'll have to kind of get in and feel those out. But I haven't had a chance to try him out. He's now live today, and I just haven't had the chance today. But looking forward to it.
And we also have, along with this new patch, we also have the changes to ranked play. And I think that we've kind of briefly talked about them a little bit on this show before. Gizmo has with the third ban and rank decay and all the different changes to matchmaking and seeding changes and stuff like that. Is there anything? I know the third ban is kind of an important one as far as just from an overall strategy tactic, I guess. Is there any other, like, out of those things, what are you seeing as like really big groundbreaking things? Are there anything that is really kind of breaking away from everything else and saying, hey, I'm really important?
They're all kind of a big deal, but honestly, these are just a few of the things that Blizzard has outright said are coming. One of the big ones everyone's really looking forward to still is that personal-based matchmaking rating, or PBMMR, where they keep track. Yeah. So that's not with this yet. And there's been some AMAs in the past that Blizzard has done where they've even said that they were trying to squeeze it in with this new season that started today. So, I mean, I'm not too upset that we don't see it yet, but that to me is going to be the really big breakaway thing when it comes down to it. In this set, though, I mean, I don't know. The big deal really is that third ban, kind of like you were saying. I think it's going to just make it to where there's a more diverse pool of heroes that you need to learn to compete in Hero League and ranked in general. Because, if you just try a few in one role and they all get banned out somehow, like I could totally see a team just banning 3 supports. And if those are the only 3 you know how to play, I mean, good luck, I guess.
It'll be really interesting to see how they do this, how this kind of affects HGC and their gameplay and the pros and the semi-pros and stuff like that are out there that are going to be doing this in super competitive mode, and how badly that throws everything off.
Yeah. Hopefully what it doesn't do is add a ton of time to the ban phase, because that already takes a bit. But,
Right. Okay. Anything else as far as Heroes of the Storm goes for now? I think that was basically it, right? Big patch.
Well, the Raiders, the War Chrome skins, of course.
Oh, yeah. Those are
in. Oh. So those are in.
Those are so awesome.
They look so good. They really look good. If you guys have been playing HOTS, you're going to want this stuff. That's for sure. That is for sure. All right, let's move it along, and we will go into some Overwatch.
Oh, this is my jam!
Yep, that's right. First of all, I want to say a big congratulations to Blizzard, because the Pink Mercy skin, which was what was the charity that was for? I can't remember.
This is a Breast Cancer Research Foundation.
Right. So the Pink Mercy has raised over $12.5 million, more like $12.7 million. So that's great. So good work, Blizz.
That's amazing.
That's really cool. Incredible. And it's a cool skin too. I mean, I think that everybody kind of wanted to have it just because it was so amazing. So
it really is. Like it's my favorite Mercy skin, and there's so many good ones. I think because it's super cute, and it's pretty, and it's got its own like unique sound effects and stuff for things. And I don't know, it's kind of the skin that everybody kind of hoped, because if you look at like a lot of, don't look at too much Mercy fan art, because unless you want to go down that road, which is fine. but a lot of it is just like the magical girl genre, like your Sailor Moon inspired type of thing. Like everybody wants that, you know, dudes, chicks, whatever, you know, we all want it.
Right.
And here it is.
Pigtails and everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's just really, really pretty. And apparently it was the largest donation by a corporate partner within 1 year in the Breast Cancer Research Foundation's 25-year history. Yeah. Like
That's crazy.
Congratulations to Blizz and congratulations to everybody who, you know, spent some money on something that, you know, is pretty and worthwhile and fun and, you know, is game enhancing, but also like really, really, really helpful to people.
Right.
IRL.
Right.
No, this is a brilliant way to just go about this, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And
Get people excited about a skin and then just go for it. Yeah.
Right.
Totally.
They've done it a lot.
And WoW has done it with pets and mounts. And,
Right.
And I think Heroes has done it with some skins, haven't they? Haven't they done charity stuff? And so I mean, it's just
that sort of thing.
It's just a really it's a great way for Blizzard and their fans to you know, make some money for a great charity. So
yeah, makes me feel good about myself.
It's awesome. It's awesome. All right.
Because I would about that anyway.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
that's the thing.
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah.
People would just go for it regardless, but then it goes to a good cause.
It was an amazing. It still is a truly terrific skin for a cool hero, and yeah, everybody was
it was really smart to do it with Mercy too, because like she's, you know, not as viable as she once was, obviously, but she's still pretty viable in all situations. So
she's
like,
gone
you
through
know,
iterations.
yeah, she's been nerfed a few times. I don't recall, but you know, whatever.
Right. Speaking of iterations, let's talk about Symmetra real quick. Symmetra is now available for competitive mode, which is awesome. I've been playing a lot of Symmetra last week or two, and ooh, I love that Symmetra. That Symmetra, the new Symmetra, so cool. Multi, do you play a lot of Overwatch?
Haven't in a while, honestly, but her rework was pretty interesting. I like the portals, that they're kind of like Medivh's portals in Heroes of the Storm now. Is there just a ton of crazy stuff you can do with that? Because I understand you could put like projectiles through it and everything else.
As I hear, and I haven't seen this in action yet because I don't really play a lot of competitive with Overwatch, and my guess is that's where it's really going to shine. But like you can send a rip tire through there and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, it's pretty neat. But just the being able to fire off these turrets into strategic locations and not having to think about it, not having to actually set it up, but you're just like, it's almost like you're firing a gun, and then that gun slowly floats until it hits a wall or something like that, and then it'll stick and
causes mayhem,
and then blow up Roadhog, which is terrific. I'm all for that. So super awesome. And Thyst, would you agree?
I would. I was a Symmetra main, but a frustrated one because she was not viable in like 90% of any situations. You know, like being a Symmetra main, like I was hiding behind like my whole like diva main facade. You know, I am really really good at diva, but like I always wanted to play Symmetra more than diva. You know,
right?
Yeah.
And now like her. Not only did they redo every single ability in her kit, like nothing is the same as it was, but she's also the first hero to be changed like class. Like she used to be support, you know, loose term. But now she's damage. So she's completely different. So like I've been trying to like relearn her and stuff. So I'm no longer Symmetra main because, you know, I don't know how to handle her now, you know, like she's just, it's interesting because like, you're right. It does take a lot of like sort of like the cerebralness out of playing Symmetra as far as like, where am I going to put these turrets? They only have like 1 health. Where am I going to put them so that people won't kill them immediately? What am I going to do? Right. But now it's like, okay, I've only got 3 turrets. They're going to last like a little bit longer because they've got like 30 health. But, you know, like it's a main part of her kit now. And so like she can just send them wherever she wants. And not only that, but like now she's got this like her portals are like a regular ability, so they're going to come up and like they can do more than they used to by sending like a Junkrat tire through it or a Diva bomb or what have you.
Right.
And you know, her new primary fire, like I'm still not used to that yet because like her energy balls are like going like crazy, and her new Zarya gun, like I don't even use that sometimes because I don't remember to.
Right.
But
does does it feel like Zarya's gun?
Kind of.
Is it the same kind of length and everything too?
As far as so it's kind of a morph of Zarya's gun a little bit. You know, the primary shoot, I guess, the left click definitely feels more like that. The right click, obviously we're not having gravity affected or anything like that, so it's not like a bomb or anything like that. But when it explodes, man, that thing goes off and wrecks.
Splash damage, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I get, you know, if people are bunched up, I can get 2 or 3 at a time and kill them dead.
Yeah.
Kill them good.
And like add a turret in there and like everybody's dead. And then her ult, it's just like sometimes it's the most handy thing in the universe, and
sometimes
you know, just
it's
like
a throwaway.
Sometimes it is like it's hard, like it's so big to deal with. Like sometimes you throw it away because you just like there's so much like it seems like the whole like complete tide of the game is in your hands all of a sudden, and you're like, I'm gonna put my wall here, and then it does nothing. But sometimes it does everything, you know.
Well, and especially on like when you're contesting a point or something like that, if you throw it like halfway on the point, that could be a really good thing because all of your bullets and stuff like that go through that barrier, but none of theirs do. And then you can kind of turn around on that thing as well. And as people are trying to go through that shield, you can go through on the other side and blast them in the face again. So it's pretty awesome.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty great. I still got it. You know, the one thing that I have to figure out is her ports and her portals, and really try to use those more. But
as like an escape.
Yeah,
would it be better as an escape, or imagine
whenever you see you know a team charging in, you want to be able to have an escape route, or you want to be able to have another attack route. So, or both.
Yeah, you can get real crafty with her now.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. There's a lot more to think about.
Yeah, and with her in competitive now, like this is when the new Symmetra meta or Symmetra, funny, you know, will start to come to fruition. You know, like I think just simply because like her primary fire, like her Zarya cannon thing, amps up when it gains more ammo when it is hitting a barrier. So she's going to be great against, well, she already is, but she's great against Brigitte. And, you know, Brigitte's been sort of leading this new meta recently. So I think with that, it's going to start changing things up a bit. And I think that, like, it's going to be one of those situations where, like, if one team has a Symmetra, the other team should probably have a Symmetra too. Right. So I'm just, like, I think
it will be one of those things where, I mean, like, Brigitte is almost kind of more of a, she's not a flavor pick. She's like a must-have for a lot of different maps. Yeah. And you'll find the same thing is true with Symmetra, and you'll find the same thing is true with D.Va. More and more, I mean, that's kind of how I see it with a lot of the maps. You have a D.Va, you have a Symmetra, you have a Brigitte, and then probably like a Reinhardt or another tank or whatever, but or Roadhog. But you know, I mean that's all kind of flavor picks after that. So.
It'll just be interesting to see what kind of meta comes out.
She's awesome. The new flavor pick soon. I thought it was going to be today, but it's not today. It'll probably be
not yet.
Probably be next week. Is Hammy, as we were talking about at the beginning of the show. Hammy the hamster, aka Wrecking Ball, made his debut basically after the last show, so 2 weeks ago. The day after the show posted. Boom! Wrecking Ball. Oh, okay. So we have a hamster trapped in his habit trail, and he is so smart that he built guns on it. It's great.
Yeah, he sure did.
And I've been playing. I've been playing Hammy on the PTR. Super fun. Super fun.
He doesn't feel like any hero. You know, like it's just the way he handles. It's so different.
His movement in general is just totally off the wall.
Yeah, and
never seen anything
sometimes
like
literally.
Like he'll tether himself to something and be able to kind of roll around and speed up and
grappling claw.
Yeah, and like especially if you're holding on to, say, the shark in Blizzard World.
Yeah.
There's this video that this showed me that was it was the what was the arcade mode?
It's like No Limits.
Yeah, No Limits. And and so everybody was playing Hammy, and they were spinning around on the shark in Blizzard World, all of them. And the shark was doing all sorts of weird things, so it was throwing them off.
Flopping all over the place.
It's so strange.
That's pretty good.
It's so strange. And it's just been so fun to kind of watch people play that on the PTR and all the videos that have come out from that. Super fun. Super fun.
Oh, yeah. There's just so much you can do with the Wrecking Ball. Like, some of the escape routes these people are figuring out, and some of the, like, just tethering up and getting onto another ledge and then dropping down with his other ability.
Yep.
There's just going to be so much going on there.
Yep.
He's just fun.
Yep.
It's really fun.
It does take some practice, though. I will say that.
Yeah.
Takes a lot of practice to be able to figure out how to maneuver around all of those different things, especially if you're trying to go in and out of doorways and tether yourself with a grappling hook and all that kind of. It's more complicated than a lot of characters, just movement wise.
Yeah.
Shooting stuff is easy. The trying to knock people off a ledge or whatever is going to be really kind of more difficult than I think, but it's super fun. It is. It's so stupid fun. It's so great. I don't know.
I think
also just love that he's a hamster.
Yeah, like didn't
totally
see that coming.
I know. I when I was a little kid, I had hamsters all the time. I had probably. Unfortunately, I didn't take very very good care of them.
Apparently not.
So
did you do what I did?
What's that?
Oh, yeah. I had one hamster that I would take and put in one of those, you remember those Ghostbuster cars?
Yeah.
Where it's like the full-on car.
Uh-huh.
I would maybe occasionally stick him in the driver's seat and push him down a slide, maybe. I don't know. I thought he was having fun.
Nice.
And then he bit me repeatedly and ran.
Right.
So,
Good.
Good times.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those are good times. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so Hammond is 14 years old.
Mm-hmm.
He's a tank. He goes by Wrecking Ball as well.
Or Hammy.
Or Hammy. Not according to Reddit, though.
Right.
So he's from the Horizon Lunar Colony, which is where Winston is from.
Yeah.
And he was given genetic therapy to make it easier for him to like stay on the moon, and that's what they were giving to the apes as well, to make them like a side effect of that is they get larger and smarter. So Hammy would like escape his little hamster enclosure, and he would teach himself how to be a mechanic. And he made himself like a makeshift like escape pod and hitched it to Winston's spaceship during the gorilla versus human kerfuffle or whatever. And he flew to Earth, and he broke off like entering the atmosphere, and he ended up right outside Junkertown.
Right.
What a coincidence.
And now we have the videos and stuff like that, the origin story of Hammond, Wrecking Ball, whatever you want to call him. And and so it's pretty cool, and it's fun. It's just Overwatch is that is a very silly character that I can't wait to see how people use it. And
I'm a little worried about it, honestly.
Really?
Because like, well, he's a great tank because he's got this massive mobility. Like,
right.
He can get around things that like only D.Va could have, beforehand. And so that's exactly what we need, because like he's going to be able to go and like flush out, flankers and people in the backline and stuff like that, and make it easier for the rest of us to like shoot them down. But he's got these shields called Adaptive Shield, and it creates a temporary personal shield around him, and it increases with more enemies nearby. So he's already got this shield. It's at like 100, and with every enemy within 7 meters of him as well, he gets like an additional 100, which means if Hammond, I know, like if Hammond dives into a team playing close together, he can have like 1,300 total health. So he's going to be ridiculous. So that means since he's going to be off doing stuff, then we could perceivably come back to the dive meta with Winston and D.Va, because they need to stay with the rest of the team with their shields to shield everyone else. So he is a bowling ball, and the opposing team are the pins. It's time to knock them down. That's about it. And yes, there is also a thing. I can't remember what it's called, but DK Rise in chat says the pile driver is super fun. So if you lift up in the air, you can actually hit the crouch button, and he slams down onto the ground, causing this big, huge Doomfist like mark on the ground. But everybody goes flying upward.
Everybody goes flying up. It's so fun. And
his ultimate minefield is like...
minefield is really damaging.
It's really cool.
Yeah,
it is,
you just drop a bunch of mines.
It clears the field. That is for sure. So, very fun hero in Overwatch. Is there anything else with the Overwatch stuff we need to get to? Or
that's pretty much it right now.
Any of the Blizzard games? Because I mean, other than these these 4 things, 4 games, the other ones not really doing a whole heck of a lot. But
it's kind of how it's been lately, though.
That's okay. I'm fine with that. There's more than enough to do, man. It's like we're getting ready. We're getting ready for BFA.
Yeah. All the new stuff, plus all the esports.
Yeah, plus all the esports. Oof. So much going on. If you're a fan of Blizzard games, this is a great time to be around for sure.
Oh, the timing of all this is crazy too. Like Hearthstone expansion, then BFA, Hammond's coming out right around the same time. Like Blizzard tends to do this in my experience. They kind of give us these like micro Christmases throughout the year, if you will. Yeah. And this past week was kind of that. So
I can't afford all these Christmases.
I know.
Right.
It's like, oh, and Jinx is having a sale on all the Warcraft stuff to make room for the new stuff coming out in a few weeks. It's like, cool. Yep. Mm-hmm. I'll just wish I could buy that so much.
Right. Well, I think that for now we're just gonna have to leave it be. And with that, I think I will play the music. There it is. And with the music, we talk about what's going on in our lives, gaming related, of course, and how people can find us and all that kind of stuff. And this time, I will let's tell the people what you do on a regular basis, the podcasts and stuff like that you can be found on, etc. Sure. Go ahead.
Sounds good. So you can find me on Twitter at Multizord. But the podcasts are Lords of the Storm, which, is the Heroes of the Storm show. Yeah. With Gizmo! Yet again. I can't do it. I can't do this.
With Gizmo!
There you go. Perfect.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, so there's that one. And then I also do another show called Hearth Casual. Actually, my co-host of that is Ro from Rail Maintenance.
Yeah.
We go by our regular names, though. So did you guys even know that his name was Brian Black?
No.
I didn't either.
Yeah, well,
he's been to my house. I don't know his name.
Yeah, right.
That's funny. That's funny.
So that's our Hearthstone show, and it's a bit more casual. We've taken a couple weeks off actually recently, but we got to record this week, right? Because right. Boomsday Project.
Right, you gotta do that. You have to do that. Mm-hmm. Awesome. And Thyst, how about you? What do you got going on this week?
I don't know, man. I thought I'd just play some games, chill out, watch some esports.
Awesome.
But besides that, you can find me at laggingballs.com because I do a show called Lagging Balls, and it's about Blizzard games. And the last one we did, we talked about Brian Holinka doing handstands every day for like over a month now.
Unless he gets distracted.
Unless he gets distracted by a Fast and the Furious marathon.
Well,
that's a legitimate.
That's totally legit. That's fine.
That's legit. That's what we learned. But yeah, you can find that at laggingballs.com, at laggingballs on Twitter. I'm Thyst03 on Twitter, and I also do another show with Pat called the Battlenet Sports Show.
Wow! Look at that! Look at that! And all of that kind of stuff. I don't know. The only thing that I'm going to say is that you can find me on Twitter at Pat Krane with a K, and I feel like I should say this weekend I'm going to be at the Laugh Factory in Sacramento, but that's not true. I'm just going to go to Sacramento. So I'm just checking out the town, man. That's all. But I'm going to be at the Laugh Factory. I'm bringing it on the road. I'm bringing the show on the road. Nope, not really.
Who's your opening act?
It's Leroy Jenkins.
What?
Dang.
Yeah.
How did you land him?
He's just going to charge in. He'll be done in about 30 seconds. And then
At least he got chicken.
Right.
Give him his chicken dinner and call it good. Yeah.
That's right. All right. And if you guys want to talk to us at all, please do. Please join in. And you can join the Bazoo Guapa Nation by heading over to converttoraid.com. That's where we have all the stuff now. We have all the videos. We have the audios. We have the store. We have the, if you want to buy a shirt, buy a shirt. That's totally cool. We have the Convert to Raid podcast network with shows that these guys are on, like Lords of the Storm, like Lagging Balls, like Battlenet Sports. All of that stuff is over on converttoraid.com. And you can even email us, converttoraid@gmail.com, or check us out on Twitter as well, at Convert to Raid. There we go. That's going to do it. Multizord, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
It was an honor to have you here, and
honor to be here.
Thank you for breaking away from your busy family life. I know that's that was kind of one of the things we weren't sure if you were going to be here or not.
Hey, he didn't cry, except for that one time. But hey, could have been worse.
That's right. Thank you, Thyst, as always. Thank you, Twitch chat, for being here and being weird and being fun and having fun with us. And thank you guys, no matter where you are, if you're at home, at work, in the car, wherever, just traveling around. That's cool. Thanks for picking us up. We love you for it, and we will see you next time. Until then, for everyone at Convert to Raid, bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
The release cadence actually has me sold on the game. Like, I quit for a while during even Legion. I kind of skipped Nighthold and like the beginning part of the next bit, but I'm hooked now. Like, they're releasing stuff at just the right times to keep me interested, I think.
Nice.
Yeah, it does seem to be. I mean, it seems to be really fast, but not always overwhelming.
Yeah, right. Well, they're able to measure it in weeks, right? Like, yeah. Well, it's maybe not exact,
and
but
Ro, aka Brian Black, he was the one that I first saw that said something about the 11-week thing. So
yeah,
and I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that has been. And then it was 77 days, or maybe it was 77 days was the big thing, not 11 weeks. 77 days. It's been 77 days since our last release. Time for
kind of reminds me of the signs in the background of that Boomsday Project. Minutes since last.
Yeah.
Right. I meant to mention that. That was the best part of the whole video.
Right.
And if you watch it in the background, they keep updating it with every accident.
Oh my god, that's awesome.